efficiently using the heat left over from welding. Dude, that looks like a turd. It doesn't even look like a sausage.
It's a sausage.
You look like a turd. Like old geese poop. Oh, get out of there. She's gonna bite you. Okay, so what do we got going on today? Let you guys explain. Both of you.
I don't know. What are we actually doing? What is the game plan?
Well, okay, so we got, what was the guy's name? Before we do anything, I want to thank James. He hit us up on Facebook when he saw that we were having problems with the forks, and he had some and donated them to the Civic. Asked him if he wanted any money, but he said free 99, so I paid free 99.
And they actually fit.
Yeah, and they fit. So that problem completely solved. Happy about that. So that's one of the things that we're probably going to be doing today is we're going to have Tanya put in the new upper control arms. I'll show you that here in a second. And then we can finally actually button all of the suspension up together, because the really important thing that we want to do is make the motor mounts. And so if we make the motor mounts, we want to be able to actually put the car down with the weight of the motor in it. So we need to make sure that we can put the camber in a little bit. We won't obviously like align it or anything right now, but we need to be able to tuck the tires in a bit because the fenders aren't rolled yet. And I think they'll hit if it actually goes down enough.
Let's make it hella stance out.
Right? Oh,
like just for fun.
For
just
sure,
for
Metigulous. For some
max it all
clickbaity
the way.
stuff. Yeah, we can. If you can
Okay,
hear, I guess,
so
like,
let's do it.
it's gonna look like it's broke. I'm done. Let's do it. Okay, what else we got going on? Oh, Tanya took the rear end to Jen and Jeff at JJL Racing. Jeff's gonna be doing the rear end for us. So he's got everything that he needs now. I gotta send him a decision on what we're doing for gearing, which I think we're gonna go with the 308, but I'm gonna talk to him about that. Oh, the motor. So we got the correct head studs. My buddy David from down in Texas sent us out to the new ones. We still gotta send the incorrect ones back, but he knew that we wanted to button that up. So we got the new ones here as soon as possible. And so Tony's gonna finish that up as well. We get the heads on there, and that'll be at least finalized. We'll be happy to have that out of the way. So hopefully a bunch of completion today. But what are we gonna start with? What are we doing right meow?
So what I want to do first, that way, like if we have to cut anything else out here, I want to like lower the car down. We're going to put the suspension on first. We can put the suspension on first really quick, and then lower the car down, put the tranny mount on it, make the front motor mounts, and then like get the whole, like get the motor in the car, and then see like if we need to cut out anything else before I box it in. I had to box it in first, and I have to cut more shit out.
Yeah.
Because I know it was really close. Like
It was. I know we
really
did
close,
mark
so-
some of this stuff, like that steering bulge or whatever, that can come completely out.
Yeah.
And then I think we need to trim a little bit more off there. You're right,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so what I want to do is like bolt the motor in, like get it all bolted in where it's going to sit, and then see what hits and what needs to be trimmed out, and then take it back out and trim it, and then, yeah, and then we'll box that shit in.
Sounds good. We'll start with the easy stuff. So she'll put the suspension on right now. We'll see how that looks. Cool. All right. We're having her take off the upper control arms and stuff. Okay, so open the box. Let's see what they gave us. Pretty sure they gave us the entire thing, including
We're
the...
unboxing the upper control arms.
You have to just start off anyways, right?
Yeah.
So take this plate and shove it all the way forward.
Really?
I'm serious, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're going
We can end
hella...
up like this.
Hella fresh.
We can end up like this.
Yeah.
How do I shove it?
Those 14? Those 14s or 12s?
Hey, did you put the other foil together, or do I gotta put it together?
You gotta put it together. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you got one
This little
job.
one, right?
Oh no, you someone put it together.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay.
But is it gonna be the right height?
We have no idea. Doesn't matter right now.
Is it close to that side?
Oh, yeah, I counted threads.
Okay, so don't mess with it.
Maybe verify. I don't know, man. That was like a week ago.
Get it together.
I don't remember what I said last night.
Figure it out.
Alright, cool. Put that off to the side. Take that up control arm out.
Why'd you have blue ones?
This is the color they come. Alright, so we got the shocks and the upper control arms on. Just for grins, we maxed out the camber negative, so it's all like hella flush looking. But realistically, It may end up actually having to be like this to make it in the fender, and so that when we launch, when the suspension is decompressed, that we actually have a decent steering angle or a camber angle. So it may actually roll around like it sits right now. So, I guess you can't really see the suspension stuff in there, but anyway, they're on there. But if you look at the angle of it, it didn't look that bad in the video actually.
It doesn't.
No.
This side does.
This side, yeah, well, because I guess it has the fender as a reference.
This side looks pretty decent.
Yeah. But anyway, like you can see, we'll probably still have to roll the fenders a little bit, but yeah, it'll probably have that kind of camber. And it's gonna come up a decent amount when it launches, like when the suspension decompresses. And we want it to do that so that we can transfer a little bit more weight to the rear. But we kind of want it to be close to a 0 degree angle when it's up that high. So at rest, it being negative is likely what it's gonna be. So anyway, yeah, it may actually look like that. You also see that we got the motor in here. We've been kind of brainstorming, figuring out what we're actually going to do as far as a cradle for the engine mounts. We gotta take this thing, the old transmission mount, we gotta cut that out so that we can mark where we're going to weld in some plates to put in some, or weld in some nuts as our tie point for the cradle to the chassis. So we're gonna hack that up right now, see if we can get it out of there, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, chop some shit, weld some nuts.
Chop some stiff.
I'm not doing anything.
It looks super weird. All right, so we had to do a bunch of hacking away of the old motor mount areas on both sides. So we cut that one out, and we cut that one. Well, we hacked that one. That one still needs some to be taken out of it, but we got rid of that too. And if you see in here, we ground down the nuts and placed them in the frame rail area. And so we're getting ready to tack those in there and then get them angled correctly so that the plate can bolt up to it. What did he get into? What was it? Oh, the wrapper. Ooh, that probably had some good juices in it.
Yeah.
He's still eating it too.
It's like,
dumb.
worth it.
Go ahead.
Dude.
Really? No.
Drink over.
No.
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 Good boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Naughty.
So we got the plates on here. We're gonna start welding or cutting the pieces to actually weld the pieces that are gonna go down to the cross member that's gonna go across. We're gonna base this off of measurements. We know, you know how deep the pan is at that point.
We're gonna guesstimate.
We do. We know exactly. We know exactly where it's gonna be because we know.
It's gonna be a lot easier to tack up. It's gonna take us like 20-30 minutes to tack up
Yeah.
and make, instead of sliding the motor in, getting all of our measurements,
Yeah.
and then try to tack it up with the motor in there. It actually may be kind of hard.
Yeah. Screw that. Cut twice. Measure 0.
No, yeah, no. Don't
Yeah.
measure.
Don't measure at all.
Yeah, don't measure and make it fit.
Yeah. Send it.
Eyeball.
That's what it is.
Eyeballs.
Eyeballs. one of those. Those don't even sizzle.
Yeah,
There you
they
go.
should. They should sizzle.
Oh, ow, you dumb.
No.
God, you're so stupid.
Let them.
I don't think the other one will sizzle.
Oh man.
Put it on the other side. I just welded the other side.
Making some more breakfast. Dude, that looks like a turd. It doesn't even look like a sausage.
It's a sausage.
You look like a turd. Like old geese poop.
Well, it's because it's all natural. Oh my god.
Damn.
It actually good.
Cooked it.
Nice.
Well, I mean,
It's nice and warm.
Yeah.
Solid.
So we have made that cradle now. It goes all the way underneath our mock-up motor. Bolts in real nice. Everything turned out good with that. It's actually like extremely symmetrical, and I wish I could say that was 100% on purpose, but it's a little bit on accident too. Super strong, tested out and everything. I think it will be good, if not overkill. So now we are working on actually making the mounts for them. So we got this sweet kit from, I think I got it off of Summit. There's some slotted holes on the plate that actually bolts to the motor, so you can move it back and forth a little bit. And then it has these tabs that come off that we're gonna weld to our new subframe. So that's what Hayden is doing right now. He took off this side. We got to cut them down a little bit so there's not a bunch of overhang.
Yeah.
Then we'll weld them all up.
They're like ridiculously long.
Yeah. But yeah, so once, I mean, this is kind of a giant step. Like, it's taken us so long to actually get the motor in there. I mean, hacking away at the car is one thing. Getting that rear transmission mount takes so freaking long because the motor's just like floating. The car's just hanging out.
Yep.
So we constantly have to do crap like this, where we got 3 jacks and a jack stand to make sure that the motor is where we want it and the car is where we want it, and then, you know, get everything in place. So once we have the mounts, we no longer have to do this, you know, musical chairs of jacks and moving the car, putting up and down and everything. And we can start actually just working on it as a car. So this is huge. Hopefully we can get that done.
Turbo kit setup, radiator setup.
Wiring, yeah, where everything is going to go, because it's all in reference to the motor.
Yeah.
So we got the motor over there, finally getting ready to put the heads on that. Got the right headsets and everything, so just need to slap it together. We we weren't sure if we had a torque wrench that went down low enough for the smaller studs. So we do. Thanks, Wyatt, again.
You were using your torque wrench for just the little studs.
Wyatt's the real MVP on this build, and he's not even here. Alright, cool. So we'll get on that and see how it goes. So much.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it's crooked.
I'm gonna punch you in the...
Kidding.
It looks pretty good in my
Okay.
balls.
So, we just tacked up the mounts themselves and took it out of there, just to kind of weld up the rest of it. And yeah, so that is our little subframe, our cradle, in all its sloppy gloriousness. Yeah, it came out really good. Everything is surprisingly symmetrical. So yeah, looks pretty good. He's gonna finish welding it all up.
Yep, once we weld it all up, bolt it back in, take all the jacks out, leave the B for today, and then do the motor real quick.
Yep, and then we get to find out if the spring rate is good enough. Yeah, so we're gonna weld that up, and then we'll get to putting the motor together. And it'll be in an excellent spot.
It probably smells weird to him.
Yep.
We'll show you what the finished product looks like in a sec. That's pretty tight.
Try it. Yeah. I don't like it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Normally I should be able to just tighten them.
It seems like a decent amount of force going into. Might have to. Do you have any temps?
I wonder if these are M8 by 1.2.
Yeah. All right, so we're waiting for the cross member or the cradle to cool off. So we went ahead and came over to the motor. Got all of these studs all lubed up with the moly that ARP provides, and just getting them all twisted in so that we can start getting these damn heads on. Get this part over with. I guess we can ask Bora what we did on the truck. I think we just did regular spec on the truck.
And you guys didn't retorque them after his heat cycle, did you?
I didn't even touch that thing.
Yeah.
You felt how loose those
Yeah,
cover
the only
bolts
thing
were?
yeah, the only thing you touched was in that trans mount after like lifting the whole rear up of it.
I'm gonna touch that one. I'm gonna touch them feels when I put a gap on.
Your car runs.
Okay, the other one.
The bigger ones, yeah.
No tab.
No?
Nope.
You got to bolt that same thread pitch? We got a little problem child right now. One of these holes, we're threading it down in there, and it's not happy for some reason. So we're gonna try to chase the threads out. See if we can find a bolt the same thread pitch and make a tap out of it. So we got the motor in under its own weight. Well, the mock-up motor anyway. Looking at the suspension, we might end up needing the next weight up. These are 220s or 225s, and we're still an inch low on our ride height, and we don't have a crazy. I mean, we got probably 2.5, 3 inches left, probably 2.5 inches of adjustment, but we want to be in the middle of that shock adjustment. So we may be going to a slightly heavier spring so that we can get the ride height that we want with these settings. But yeah, it's in and supporting its own weight. That is a giant chunk of the work done is getting the motor just to be in. All the other stuff I think tends to be.
Yeah. A lot of monotonous work to just get that.
Yeah. Yep.
For 3 mounts. So much work.
Like it?
No, I think it looks a little weird.
Well, I don't care about your opinion.
I'm just kidding. No, it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that are like, oh, you should have done it this way, you should have done it that way. Cool. But it's in, and we can start getting to work on a lot of other stuff.
It's like super symmetrical too.
Yeah, it's really symmetrical. It turned out, I mean, we even started like not giving it shit because we just didn't have the means to make it like perfectly level and everything. And what we ended up putting in while we said screw it ended up being perfectly level in both directions. So yeah, I think it's very good. Training mount, engine mounts done, cradle done. Oh, and we started putting in the studs, but the cradle cooled off, so we wanted to get some satisfaction looking at that. We're gonna pop these heads on real quick, torque them down. And yeah, good.
Training mount solid.
I was gonna say,
It acts like it's got solid mounts on it.
well, good.
I can't move it at all.
Yeah. Don't move the cars too much though. Remember the back of it is still just like hanging in the wind. And our wheel bearings are about to pop themselves out eventually. We need to get some axles in those things.
Yeah. I'm
They
gonna
move
come back
a
and the
lot.
fucking wheel bearings
It's
just
just, I know.
It's just slammed on the
That's a
ground.
genuine worry. Like we probably need to bring up some. Let's bring up some axles next weekend. Remind me to bring them up.
Definitely be a good idea.
But yeah, super encouraging. Good progress. Tons of room in there. At least it looks like it. Hopefully we can make some shit work. Oh yeah, then you gotta put the. Let's see how clickbaity he wants to be. Is he gonna go get the turbo too?
No. This thing is not fucking like the greatest. Like,
Oh. Yeah, we don't have dowels in those heads, dude.
you
No,
Dowels are in
no.
there.
The dowels are in there? I thought one of them we couldn't get in there, so one of them's off.
no, we do. Oh, you could just do the gaskets too, but like this top part of the flange is like heating on this little
Yeah.
ridge on the head, so it might just be the gasket difference. So, I don't know.
Hopefully. Otherwise, I'm chucking it through Holly's window.
Yeah, but it fits great back there. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I wanted to show the room in the back. I mean, so one day I'll show a video of how close the truck manifold is to our firewall. Now, granted, we got the motor pretty close to the firewall, and that's what we were wanting. We wanted very little. We wanted the motor to be as far back as we could get it. But this intake manifold is pretty sweet. There's tons of room back there to work with, and having done the Holly wiring harnesses before, there's a lot of action going on right in that back area with everything coming up for the injectors and sensors in the front. So that's going to be really useful. this manifold being so shallow, I was worried that it was going to be a pain in the to run anything underneath it, but that room in the back is going to be a huge help because you can reach your arm in the back and the front, and you can get anything that you need like that. Mine, I can't put anything in the back, but my manifold's so high up that I can reach my whole arm in underneath from the front. So anyway, super happy about this part. Just got to make a couple of adjustments as far as ride height goes.
Maybe trim some other stuff too, but that's...
Oh yeah. We still got to trim some stuff out of the wheel well.
Yeah.
I mean, not the wheel well, the training well. But that's a whole project in and of itself, where we got to take the motor out and, like, you know, clearance everything. This is just a mock-up motor. It ain't staying in. So yeah, I guess we'll get that motor together. We'll have 3 very complete feelings. This is good stuff. All right, cool. We'll get to that right now.
Clickbait.
Pay good money to get the nice flat surface on that sucker. Don't scratch it all up.
You got me made.
Oh no, you're sure.
Don't fucking do that. I feel like I'm stuck.
No, so you're uneven. So this side right here needs to come down just a little bit.
This side?
You like pull it back down. There you go. Keep coming. Yeah, you need to tilt. You need to tilt towards yourself. There you go. Nice and easy. Yep. And then now it's seated on the dowel pin, and you're good.
She's come such a long way, because the old Tanya, when it bound up like that, would have been like, it's not going on.
All he wanted to do is all he wanted you to do is put the head on, and now he's roasting you.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Wait, all big ones?
Yeah.
What was the poll at?
60-40
Yeah.
in favor of ice cream cruise.
Honestly, I don't really want to go down Alarm again.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Ooh, she done laid down the law.
All she said was what she wanted. She didn't say nothing.
She said she doesn't want to go.
Well, it's a good thing that we have 2.
I don't know, I feel like there might be more, I don't know.
No, I mean, either
More
way.
pressure at Outlaw Armageddon.
No, all we were doing was like drinking and having a good time. It was like 3 days of camping before we even did any racing. It was actually kind of fun.
That's the thing too, is I think Outlaw Armageddon might be a little bit longer than Ice Cream Cruise.
So I don't know. I mean, how long is Ice Cream Cruise?
2 days, maybe?
No, I think it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So then that's 3 days of action. We could go the day before, camp out there, or...
I'm not exactly sure. I have to double check, to be honest.
I think it was only 2, well, it said 2 days.
We went so unprepared that it was a shit show, so I don't remember much of it.
It said like the 4th through the 5th.
Oh, okay, so it might only be 2 days then.
We're missing a washer?
Hey, ow. 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 You like your blanket? It looks comfy.
Is that your bed?
Out of all the things you could have laid on.
Oh, and he specifically, that's not just like by
Yeah,
chance,
no, yeah, like look at him.
He's trying to get his elbows on it.
No.
Yeah, we're making fun of you.
He gets so embarrassed. Do you want me to lay it out for you? Here.
Such a clown. Look, there, watch him.
Here.
I think when I did mine, I don't remember them being loose, but like once I turned them 180. So.
Obviously, we got the motor with the heads back on. Tightening up the rockers right now, then we're gonna put the valve covers on, and then we are done for the day. Like I said before, that was a ton of progress. Motor, I feel, is in a better spot. Obviously, we gotta get a bunch of different things. I still gotta get a balancer for it. We gotta clean up those valve covers and water pump, the little extenders to push out the water pump, a couple little things. But at least it's back together, which is nice. Mock-up motor's in the car. Suspension is in. Might have to make a spring change. It's all pretty good. Great progress for the weekend. So, we'll obviously be doing another live session tonight, assuming there isn't some crazy blizzard, which Colorado seems to threaten every weekend. So yeah, hop on in and say hi. We'll talk about some clothes too. We're gonna have some shirts and then possibly these hats. We're gonna start making some of these as well. So we'll talk about that in the live stream tonight.
What are we doing next week?
Oh yeah, what are we doing next week? What's the plan? What are we starting on tonight?
I don't know.
What's wrong?
Should I bring the truck up?
Yeah.
You better check
I may have the RX-7 back in here too, so maybe we could do something Friday night. Or I don't really know. Oh, we could box the FK member in,
So I shouldn't bring the truck?
possibly mess with the steering rack. Chop the little bit of remainder out that we need to clean up on the edges.
I know we got plenty of work to do. I just want to, like, what are we flat out prepared to do? What should be on our list that we should attack?
Boxing, trimming out the rest we need, take measurements to order a tranny tunnel.
Okay.
Cut more towards the rear for the drive shaft area.
We'll have my wheels then.
Oh yeah, that's right. We get to pick up the wheels. Pang from P Fabrications got the wheels powder coated for us, so we'll be able to shove those back there and get a better idea of what it's going to look like. We got some front body panels too coming, but those will probably be a while. It's going to start coming together pretty quick. I can get the Holly and everything ordered too. Now that the motor's in there, right?
You even ordered that thing yet?
Huh?
You even ordered that thing yet?
What do we need it for?
What are you waiting for, a rainy day?
Pretty much. I like looking at my bank account with a bunch of money in it, you know. So I wait as long
Wyatt
as I
doesn't.
can.
Wyatt doesn't. He's like, oh shit, we got $6 grand in
It
there.
doesn't even make it.
Order truck parts.
You get my little bit every week.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That is a weird thing. Like I just like looking at it in there. I know it's all spent. There's no reason for me to wait. But
You already
I
got it all budgeted out.
Yeah.
I do that too sometimes. I haven't done it with my RX-7 lately because it makes me sad. I know how much money I've spent.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's just money.
Yeah. That's all it is. Just money, and we spend a ton of it to
Have some
do
fun.
fun things. So
It's a lot of fun though. I mean, it's a decent amount of money, but the joy that we have making passes back to back is like, a lot of people who get to have that much excitement with something they spend money on.
there are way worse things we could be wasting our money on.
Yeah.
Way worse things. I think it occupies us, keeps us out of trouble for the most part. Yeah, much better. Could be doing a boatload of drugs. Could be doing that. Not doing that.
Or
Drugs
drinking.
are expensive too.
Yeah, drinking.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not ashamed of it. I like this stuff. Well, cool. Like I said, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button, by the way. So
The
if
bell.
you subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell beside it, because subscribing does absolutely nothing as far as notifying you that we put up a video. So be sure to do that. If you come across this video and you are already subscribed, please hit the notification bell. And there's probably still a poll up there. We're gonna be putting up polls about what races we're gonna be going to, and kind of putting up like 2 events that are on the same day, asking you guys which one you think we should go to between the 2. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, we will see you later tonight.
Bye.